Paula Kennedy. I believe that we have a great fire department. How do each of you feel about past talk of the fire department transporting patients to the hospital? Most people I've talked to are pleased with the present system.
It is my opinion that transporting is not a moneymaker. It is a loser. I believe that we need to leave it at the county level, and I think if you look at the numbers and you look at the figures, it does not generate what it takes to be viable, and that it needs to remain at the county level and not at the city level.
Do you need me to repeat the question?
No, I can remember it well enough. I am a numbers person. I want to see the numbers on that proposal. Now, I met with the fire union a week or so ago, and they asked me that exact question, and I asked them for some numbers. The numbers they provided were to go into transport, Port Orange would need to hire an additional 15 firefighters. 3 per station times 5 stations. Each ambulance from that point on would require 6 more paramedic firefighters. How many ambulances do we need? They really didn't know, but maybe 2, maybe 3. We'll be upwards of 30 new employees to get into transport, if what they were telling me was accurate. Now, what is the revenue that's going to come back on transport to Port Orange? None of this has been fleshed out, resolved. Even the simplest of questioning will demonstrate that, as happened with the fire union. And I had a wonderful conversation with them, but they certainly were not prepared to give any hard numbers, and they're right at the heart of it. So the truth is that would have to be analyzed in great detail to see if it would make sense for Port Orange to get into the transport business. Answer is I don't know the answer. I'm a numbers person. Show me the numbers, and then I'll make a decision for sure.
That's a great question. If you're the person that's on the side of the road, lying down and needing help, however many people you have around you helping you is not enough. And if you're the guy driving down the road and you see the ambulance and the fire truck and the police, and you see all those emergency services, and you see most of them standing around and a couple people doing the work, you go, wow, that just seems like an overcommitment of resources. So you have a different perspective when you're the person on the ground needing help versus the person driving by. So there are a lot of different angles to this. Ponce Inlet, small community. Edgewater, small community, remote, outside of the system, at the edges of the system. It's a risk-based model. When an ambulance call is answered by somebody, they shuffle them around and they reposition what's in call and what's in service so that they can cover the widest area based on who's out and in service at any given time. I tell you what, it does seem interesting when our fire services arrive the majority of the time first, and we work up an assessment, we help the person, we do their vitals, we get them all prepped, and then the ambulance arrives, and they basically get them in the ambulance, and they basically start over with those same assessments. I'm the guy in the gurney, I'm like, let's go to the hospital now, I'm ready. So there seems like a certain duplicity by having fire services and ambulance. I don't know if the numbers work, but the bottom line is, I don't think the county's going to give it up anyway. Reason being, those smaller communities, they don't get a lot of service, but they've got to make sure it's a risk-based model, that they're covered on the outside fringes of the county. We're 60,000 people in the city of Port Orange. We've got nearly 70% of the people who are transported pay their bills. In Daytona Beach, that number is 26%. So in essence, communities like Port Orange, Ormond Beach are carrying cities like Daytona Beach, South Daytona, Holly Hill, where they have fewer ratepayers. So it might make sense for us to transport. I don't know what the numbers are, but I know from an efficiency standpoint, I don't know if we need all those emergency services. You roll an ambulance and a fire truck. We have advanced life support trained paramedics on our fire trucks. And because of that, I think they give great service. I'd like to see them have the opportunity, and I'd like to take a look at the numbers. I really would. And if it makes sense from an efficiency standpoint, I'd like to do it. Bottom line is, I live in the real world. The county isn't going to give this up. They're just not.